Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 27th of May. Indian MPs demand Pakistan's return to FATF grey list in diplomatic outreach. Former PM Khalida Zia's advisor slams election delays in Bangladesh. And Nepali Sherpa climbs Everest 4 times within 15 days. And now for all the details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on the second day of his visit to Gujarat, participated in the celebrations of 20 years of Gujarat urban growth story and launched Urban Development Year 2025 in Gandhinagar on Tuesday. During his visit, the Prime Minister also inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of multiple projects worth 5,536 crore rupees or $648.71 million at the Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar. PM Modi also held a roadshow in Gandhinagar, his fourth such roadshow during the visit. While addressing the public, he said that India is a land of the brave and highlighted that the terror attacks on the country can no longer be termed as proxy wars, a direct reference to India's strikes against terror camps in Pakistan. Taking a jibe at the opposition, he added, this time everything was done in front of the cameras so that no one back home would ask for proof. The Prime Minister also hailed India becoming the fourth largest economy in the world.
हम पूरे विश्व को एक परिवार मानते हैं। हम अपने पड़ोसियों का भी सुख चाहते हैं। वे भी सुख चैन से जिए, हमें भी सुख चैन से जीने दे। ये हमारा हजारों साल से चिंतन रहा है। लेकिन जब बार बार हमारे सामर्थ्य को ललकारा जाए तो ये देश वीरों की भी भूमि है।
India continued its diplomatic outreach as various parliamentary delegations held engagements with top leaders of France, Singapore, Kuwait, Guyana and other nations as part of the Operation Sindoor global outreach. On Monday evening, the delegation led by BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad interacted with Indian diaspora members in France, where they reiterated that India is united in its fight against terrorism and aims to convey this message globally. The delegation asserted that while India seeks peace with Pakistan, it will not remain silent if attacked. In a similar engagement in Kuwait, the parliamentarian from Hyderabad, Asuddin Owaisi, part of an all-party delegation led by BJP MP Baijand Panda, strongly called for Pakistan to be placed on the Financial Action Task Force grey list again. He added that the tighter financial scrutiny is needed as Pakistan might use the $2 billion received from the IMF as a bailout loan to support its military and terror groups. Another delegation led by Congress leader Shashi Tharoor held community engagements and discussions with Guyanese President Muhammad Irfan Ali. Following the meeting with the Indian delegation, President Ali took a firm stand in support of India, stating that everything must be done to ensure terrorism and extremism are defeated on every front.
Our chairman has told the deputy Prime Minister that Pakistan must be brought back in FATF grey list. Now, what is the importance of FATF grey list? That there will be huge scrutiny on that nation when you do money transactions. And it is a fact that Pakistan uses Middle East, hawala or money laundering, to sponsor terrorist groups against India.
On Monday, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who is on a four-nation tour to express gratitude for support during the recent conflict with India, expressed his willingness to hold talks with India to resolve all outstanding issues between Islamabad and New Delhi. Sharif made these remarks during a stop in Tehran, calling for negotiation on the matter. This marks the third instance that Pakistan's top leadership has urged dialogue with New Delhi, following India's precision strikes on terror hideouts and later military installations in Pakistan. However, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has repeatedly stated that terror and talks cannot coexist, emphasizing that the only talks with Pakistan will focus on its withdrawal from the illegally occupied regions of Jammu and Kashmir. India has also rejected any third-party involvement in talks between New Delhi and Islamabad, stating that such talks will be a bilateral matter. India is making a bold push to become the world's next big manufacturing hub, and at the heart of this transformation is the ambitious Production Linked Incentive or PLI scheme. We have a report.
Foxconn, one of the largest contract manufacturers of Apple products, has committed $1.5 billion USD to expand its operations in India, likely to ramp up iPhone production as Apple shifts away from its reliance on China. During Apple's Q1 2025 earnings call, CEO Tim Cook identified India as the primary source for iPhones destined for the US market in the upcoming quarter, marking a significant shift in Apple's global supply chain strategy. Besides Foxconn, many foreign manufacturers have tapped into India's Production Linked Incentive (PLI) scheme, which offers financial incentives for boosting domestic production and exports. In addition to promoting large-scale electronics manufacturing, India's Production Linked Incentive scheme spans a diverse set of industries, including those critical to national security, such as pharmaceuticals, medical devices, telecom and networking equipment, and semiconductors.
The PLI has been enormously successful. It's appropriately called the large-scale electronic manufacturing PLI because it has taken mobile phone manufacturing from 2 lakh odd crores to more than 5 lakh crores. So it has been enormously successful.
India is rapidly emerging as a global manufacturing hub, powered by the Production Linked Incentive Scheme launched in 2020 under the Self-Reliant India vision. By offering 4 to 6% subsidies on incremental sales across 14 key sectors, including electronics, pharma, and automobiles, the scheme is attracting major players like Apple and Samsung. With $2.67 billion USD earmarked for electronics alone, India is positioning itself to capture a significant share of the $1.5 trillion global market. As of November 2024, the PLI scheme had approved 764 applications, including 176 from MSMEs, generating $18.72 billion USD in investment and $162.84 billion USD in production. This momentum aligns with the global China Plus One strategy as companies diversify supply chains away from China. India is seizing this shift as a golden opportunity, using targeted incentives and a strong policy push to transform into a global manufacturing powerhouse.
Every country and every industry started thinking of China Plus One about 10 years back. And every country started giving some incentives, some facilities. India also worked upon an incentive called PLI, which is Production Linked Incentive. This scheme is very unique and perhaps not available in many countries or any countries, if I can say.
India is rapidly emerging as a key player in the global technology supply chain, driven by initiatives like the Production Linked Incentive Scheme. In the telecom and networking product segment alone, cumulative sales have reached $9.48 billion, with exports making up 18.6%. The scheme has also created over 26,000 jobs. Buoyed by this success, the government has expanded the scheme to include 11 more telecom and networking products, offering broader opportunities for performance-based incentives. Looking beyond smartphones, India is targeting high-value sectors such as semiconductors, batteries, and drones. With cost advantages, technical talent, and strong policy support, India is well positioned to drive sustained economic growth and support global supply chain diversification.
When in 2014 or 15 the question used to be who's manufacturing in India, but after the reforms and after the schemes, today the question is who is not manufacturing in India.
India's transformation into a global manufacturing hub is no longer aspirational. It's underway. With robust policy support, rising exports, and major global players investing under the PLI scheme, India is firmly positioning itself as an indispensable pillar of the global electronics and tech supply chain.
Amid political uncertainty in Bangladesh, a senior advisor to the former Prime Minister Khalida Zia has called for swift general elections in the country. In an interview with ANI, retired Major General Fazle Ilahi Akbar, Defence and Security Advisor to the Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP chairperson, highlighted that public frustration over the delay in elections and said the expectations of the people are very high. The sooner the elections are held, the better it is for the country, he added. Condemning the delay by the interim government, he emphasized that citizens want an elected government in power. Akbar's remarks comes amid growing calls for elections by the BNP and other political parties in the South Asian nation. The call has garnered support from Army Chief General Waqar-uz-Zaman, who urged elections by December 2025. Contrasting the June 2026 timeline proposed by the Muhammad Yunus-led interim government. Yunus, who assumed power in August 2024 after protesters toppled the last elected government of Sheikh Hasina, has maintained that elections will be held only after reforms are completed by the de facto administration. He reportedly threatened to resign amid calls for expediting elections, only to reverse his stance a day later. The interim government had held meetings with political parties, including the BNP and Jamaat-e-Islami, with sources suggesting that the delegation stressed the importance of having a democratically elected government.
And obviously the expectations of the people are very high. Today, who are over 35, 36 years old, they have never voted in their lifetime. And obviously there is a big expectation that people must vote. I think the sooner the better.
And according to a notification issued by the government, India has restarted issuing visas to Afghan nationals in 6 categories like students, businesses, medical attendant, entry and UN diplomats. New Delhi has not made any formal announcement in this regard, but a window has been added to its online visa portal that mentions visas for Afghan nationals. Previously, India had suspended visas for Afghan nationals to India in 2021, taking into account the security situation in Afghanistan following the Taliban takeover. The applicant must upload the documents required for completing the visa application, which is indicated against each type of visa, along with the photo of the passport and national identity card, also known as Tazkira, containing the card holder's details like name, date of birth and nationality. Notably, in a first, Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and the acting Foreign Minister of Taliban held telephonic conversation earlier in May, where Kabul urged for resumption of visas for Afghan nationals. India has not yet recognized the Taliban government, but have engaged with the de facto authorities in recent months. The National Human Rights Commission of Nepal, NHRC, issued a strong rebuke the day after Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's directive to his party cadres to take control of Kathmandu during a monarchist protest. On Sunday, PM Oli, addressing members of the Communist Party of Nepal, Unified Marxist-Leninist, called on his supporters to keep the capital city under control from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on May 29th to counter a demonstration organized by the monarchist factions led by the right-wing Rashtriya Prajatantra Party and other monarchist groups under the banner of the Joint People's Movement Committee. In a statement released on Monday, the NHRC expressed serious exception to Oli's directive, stating that no political party has the right to claim control over any area in a democratic country. The Commission added that such statements undermine the rule of law and encourage a culture of prohibition, violating the principles of democratic freedoms enshrined in Nepal's constitution. The NHRC further cautioned that the provocative rhetoric targeting specific groups or individuals could escalate tensions and breach human rights. While every individual, group or party has the right to freedom of thought and expression, using that right in a way that incites confrontation contradicts the essence of human rights, the statement read. The Himalayan nation, which abolished the monarchy in 2008, has seen renewed calls in recent months for the restoration of the Hindu kingdom. One such protest in March turned violent, killing at least 2 people when protesters clashed with police in Kathmandu. 29-year-old Nepali climber Tashi Gyaltsen Sherpa, who created history by summiting Everest not once, not twice, but 4 times in a mere 15 days, received a heroic welcome upon arriving back in Kathmandu. Tashi from Photse etched his name in history in mountain climbing on May 23rd, making his 4th successful ascent of Mount Everest in just 15 days.
फेरि बेस क्याम्प सेफ ठाउँमा पुऱ्याएर अनि त्यहाँदेखि मैले फेरि त्यही राति म माथि मेरो चौथो यात्रामा म हिँडेँ जुन चौथो यात्रामा हिँड्दाखेरि म बेस क्याम्पदेखि क्याम्प 2 देखि क्याम्प 4 22 तारिकको राति हामी क्याम्प 4बाट समिट 23 तारिकको बिहान समिट पुग्ने गरे हामी 22 तारिकको राति समिट हिँड्दाखेरि त्यतिखेर म एक्लै थिएँ मेरो शेर्पाहरू त्यस्तो केही थिएन म आफैले अक्सिजन बोकेर म आफै गएँ म 22 तारिकको 8 बजे क्याम्प 4 देखि माथि सगरमाथातर्फ लागेँ.
Tashi reached the summit point at around 3:13 a.m. for the 4th time on May 23rd. This season, Tashi had climbed the Mount Everest on May 9th as a member of the rope fixing team and later on May 14th, 19th and 23rd. The record made by Tashi has not been set by any of the climbers before. Tashi's father used to work as laboured porter in the Himalayan region, hauling heavy loads through the perilous trails to base camp. The profession, which comes as heritage for the generations in the region, Tashi answered the call from the Everest in 2017, starting his career as trekking guide. 2 years later, in 2019, he stood on Everest summit for the first time. Since then, he has reached the peak 3 times from the Nepal side and once from the Tibetan side. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.